Hello everyone, it's Alessandra here. Welcome back and thank you for dropping by to listen to what I have to say. I'm very grateful. I went for my walk as usual. I've been doing quite a lot of that recently, and I like to pick up things, whether it's a leaf, it's a fruit, it's a flower, and seeds. Now in this case, I have a seed and I'm going to use the seed to explain something that I consider very important. This seed is a seed of an oak tree. It's an acorn. It's a beautiful big tree. And in the park where I go to walk, there are quite a few of these trees. And right now, all these little fruit, but at the same time, it's the seed. They're falling on the ground. So the animals are obviously going to be able to munch on them and they disappear. But some of them, they turn into another tree. And the reason why I'm using this is because here's the inside. So this is the actual seed. As you can see, it's opening up on the other end. So I think if I want, I might actually be able to make it germinate. So I'm just going to give it a go. Or I'll just throw it into nature. Sometimes I do that. I bring them out back into nature. The reason why I'm showing you this is because this seed has within it everything it needs to know. It's got a map, it's got a manual, a blueprint of the oak tree. So inside of this seed, it's like a computer system, and it's got a folder where it shows the end product of the oak tree. And the oak tree is the image that it holds, and it will become that oak tree, because then what happens is this little seed, the computer system within this little seed will make it sprout and then follow through with the creation of the oak tree. Now, many factors can depend on whether it sprouts or not. Obviously, it's food for animals, so it might not, or it might. But at the same time, where it drops, where it lands, because sometimes I pick them up and then I drop them in other places. So it will adapt to the territory, it will adapt to the soil, it will even grow in a crack. Have you ever seen those trees that have grown in the crack of a rock up in a mountain or on the edge of something, and they look like they're holding on by a thread? But they have managed to adapt, because this little seed has nothing other to do than to activate the program. And if we look around, there are so many trees, and they're all activated in different ways because of how we interact with them, by pruning them, by positioning them, by changing the shape, or where they land. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because the same system that this little tree, this little seed, has within it to grow into that majestic oak tree is the same system that is within us. Now you say, well, how is that possible? Well, yes, a child is born, so it's like a seed. Within it, it has the blueprint of the body, which is our computer system. So this vessel, this body that I am in, it's not who I am. It is the vessel that I am using to transit through this lifetime. So the soul within this body is who's speaking to you, because it's speaking its truth. But this little seed is the body. So within it, it grows just like the oak tree. It knows how to put its roots. It's got the strongest roots and they go very deep inside the ground. So every step of the way, the oak tree knows how to grow or adapt to its environment. It will grow to the extent that is allowed to in comparison to where it lands. And the same for us. We are in a body which is programmed to grow. My body conformation is perfect for me right now. For another person, it might be different, but this is my seed. And my soul chose this seed to achieve evolution in its life, in this lifetime, or to bring forth gifts that it needs to bring forth. Now, you can look at it in many ways, but inside of us, our mind is like a computer system that's gone rogue. And the habits and the limiting beliefs, I call them memes, because they're like viruses. They've taken over this computer system. And when that happens, we don't understand the potential of the seed within us, which is the soul, to grow and to expand the experience of this life, but it has to experience it through our own perception. So if we've landed in a place where there is particular culture, or there is, like, you're a woman and you're not allowed to, because of the culture, have an education, and this is fortunately not happening anymore, but there have been times when this was actually a concept in a culture. Now, that's one limitation. Or you are born and then something happens, you have an accident and the body needs to experience disability or an illness. That too is part of the seed. There is nothing that happens by chance. What it's doing, however, it's implementing the journey of the soul. So our potential, if we tap into the actual seed by not listening so much to the rogue mind, which has gone astray, but to that little voice of the soul that is saying there is another activation that needs to happen. And the activation is the one that you have with me, because I connect you to source. And the potential that is within you, in your unconscious mind, is only available to you when you activate that belief system, rather than the rogue one that the mind has given you over time, because of the location where you were born, the color of your skin, the race, the education, the family, if they're evolved or not, the circumstances that have eventuated to you. If you continue to not believe in yourself, then you're not self-reliant, not understanding your responsibility as a creator. All of these factors. And sometimes a person has everything that they need and still they do not tap into this potential. So the soul is our connection to source. And our mind, now it's split into three minds. So the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. The conscious and the subconscious are connected, and the subconscious, which is the analytical, the ego mind, that sits in between both of them. And it's always telling you what is not right. That's the one that's created all these limiting beliefs and has gone rogue. It doesn't distinguish anymore what is right or wrong in regards to your potential, because what is missing is that your unconscious mind needs to connect to the higher source. And there's a little click that needs to happen when you automatically understand. It's like an iceberg. At the top, the conscious mind, it just takes in the information, all the ideas, and speaks to source. It is connected to the higher being. Whereas the subconscious mind is supposed to be the guard of the gate to your unconscious, which is the lower part of the iceberg. But that's the one that's got sort of stuck and it's being contaminated. It's just like this. If the seed stays in the ground too long, it might be contaminated by elements around it. Or it just doesn't thrive and it just dies off, okay? So when you are able to understand that it is through your belief system that then you are able to achieve what your conscious mind is giving you as ideas, and that the conscious mind is not meant to be the one that's driving the ideas so much, but relies on all the material and all the information that this seed has deposited into the archive, which is your unconscious mind. And the barrier is the subconscious mind, which is holding you back. Now, this is my concept. You might reason it differently. The end result is all the same. So what we are here to do is to understand that this is a shell, just like the shell here. Inside is the seed. So there's a computer system running, but it needs to connect the light being with the computer. So there's a part missing. The switch it hasn't been plugged in. When you plug in your unconscious mind, the connection with your higher self, with the soul within, you turn on that switch and off the other switch that's creating the limiting beliefs, then something magical happens. You will grow no matter what is going on around you. You will thrive. And the seed within you will reconnect with the computer system and all the programs will go on green. It's go time. It's time for us to achieve. It's time for us to implement and become the powerful seed. Now I will do another one on this, and I'm trying to put together a try because so many things going on, but I will do my best to do another one for a follow-up. It's a very vast topic, but it's very important to understand we are the seed, and the same potential that this seed has to create the oak tree, that knows instinctively how to become the oak tree out of this seed, because there's a computer system, but there is an image of the highest potential within it. But it has to be ignited by being in the right soil, getting the nutrients, and sometimes just leaving it alone and not making it, so it won't change its image. It will adapt to the environment, but it will not change the image of what the highest potential for the oak tree is. That's the same power that we have. This body, this computer system in our mind, this mind has gone astray, has lost contact with the initial blueprint of what it could achieve, the potentials, and has blocked out all the information in the unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind has a switch that needs to now be turned on between the soul and the higher self. So this machine needs to turn on another program, which is the connection with the soul, and then the connection with the higher self. And therefore, it's up to you to understand where you are standing and what you are doing about your life. Now I'm going to choose a card to finish off. I don't want, it's already long enough, but I'll just choose a card from the Ascended Masters to see what we get. Divine Order, perfect, right? So Lady Portia is saying to us, everything is in divine order. So when we say, there is more to me than just what I am seeing in my life, and when we realize that our computer system, just like a normal computer, needs an overhaul, and that the three minds need to work together to connect to source, so that all the potential that is within us, because we have a blueprint of the most amazing potential within us, but we have to connect, we have to plug it in. So we need to plug the computer system in with our soul, with the inner being, with spirit, whatever you want to call it. Then that connection takes you to the higher self. It takes you to the direct connection with source. Limiting beliefs are coming from the subconscious mind that is limiting your possibilities because it's gone astray. It doesn't realize anymore that some things, yes, have gone wrong, but it needs to let go of all that stuff that's in the dungeon and plug in the computer system with the soul, and so in divine order. So if you're listening to me today and it's resonating to a certain degree, some of you might go, ha ha, and others might go, no, and others might go, something is happening, I don't know what. That's what you need, that's divine order. It will click into motion when you allow it. So just be mindful to give your soul permission to activate that connection, and it will. Meditation, meditation, and meditation, and it will happen. That's the fuel. So for today, I will leave you with that, and I'm grateful. Thank you for dropping by. I always enjoy what I do because it's just a message that I keep getting for myself as well. So looking in the mirror, and when I look in the mirror, I acknowledge whether I'm on track or maybe not. And so that's what I love about what I do. And I'm grateful for all of you dropping by. Thank you.